Hi everyone and welcome to the Simply Motor YouTube channel, where today we're going to be talking about the Land Rover Range Rover Velar. While you're here, hit that subscribe button, and if you ding on the bell you get notified when we upload a new video. Now I'll be the first to admit that when Land Rover introduced this car, slotting it in between the Range Rover Evoque and the Range Rover Sport, I was a little bit unsure about what the point of it was, whether it was really needed in what is already a rather comprehensive SUV offering. But it has to be said that the looks are drop dead gorgeous. With that in mind, I had to find out whether it's more than just a pretty face. So the best thing to do, I thought, was to put it through its paces with an episode of 3 Good, 3 Bad and see what's what. Now I don't think you're going to find a review of the Range Rover Velar anywhere that doesn't talk about looks, because quite frankly this is the prettiest car Land Rover has produced to date. It's absolutely gorgeous. You kind of just want to stand there and stare at it for a while, so have a quick look at these exterior pictures. You see what we mean? It's just the lines, they're so smooth and flowing. There's no harsh edges or, sharp corners to this car. It's so luxurious and sleek with its design. Even those door handles, the door handles are flush to the bodywork, so when you open the car, they pop out, and then when you lock it, they pop back in again. It's just such a cool feature that's guaranteed to impress people. But what it actually does is it gives the car an immaculate side profile. The lines are so clean. It's just a lovely looking car, this. It's very much the same story when it comes to the interior design, because the cabin on the Range Rover Velar is a lovely place to sit. You'd happily sit here and eat thousands and thousands of miles after miles in utmost comfort and just in awe of the design. Now I've got loads of leather in here, and in fact the seats have a Union Jack pattern to them, as do the speaker covers. Now that's actually quite fitting, because although Land Rover is now owned by Indian company Tata Motors, the Range Rover Velar is built exclusively in JLR's Solihull plant in the West Midlands. So that makes it, pretty British. I've also got a dual touchscreen display which replaces the old conventional controls, and it's great because the top screen controls all your media, your phone, sat-nav, that kind of thing. The bottom screen is where you get all your drive modes, different, vehicle height selectors and different drive programs. You can also control the seats, the climate control, and some other vehicle settings. So it's kind of somewhat conventional in its layout, but it does so in a modern way. On the high spec models, you also get a digital instrument cluster, and the steering wheel buttons are even capacitive. So they can change depending on what's needed to be displayed at the time. It's such a modern, fresh approach that to say this car is absolutely loaded with tech, there are very, very few physical buttons. And just like the exterior, that gives it clean lines and a fresh finish. It's just a marvellous piece of design. I want to also take a moment to talk about the absolute gem of an engine that's in this car, because it's called the D300. It's a 3-litre V6 turbocharged diesel. You get 300 PS, but more importantly, a monumental 700 newton meters of torque. Now, with 8 gears to choose from and all-wheel drive, this car can put down all of its power all the time, and actually, with such short gear ratios, acceleration is bloody quick. 0 to 62 is in 6.7 seconds, with a top speed of around 150 miles an hour. Not like you need it. So, it's actually quite sprightly, but it's the way that the car delivers power that's impressive, because in-gear acceleration is simply mind-blowing. You cough on the accelerator, and all of a sudden you're doing 60, 70 miles an hour, easily. Overtake on the motorway, you merely give a quick stab at the accelerator, and you pass the car you want to get past. It's just effortless, and that's kind of what a luxury car like the Range Rover Velar should have. It's also worth mentioning that because it's a V6, there's no horrible rattle coming from up front. You probably wouldn't hear it anyway because it's so well insulated in here. But actually, if you listen very carefully when you push harder, there's a very nice, faint essence of a V6. And that's a nice thing. Well done, Land Rover, this engine's superb. Now with a 300 PS diesel engine under the bonnet, forward progression's not an issue in this Velar. However, if you want to come to a stop in as much of a hurry, you might have a bit of a problem. You see, you stamp on the brake pedal and all of a sudden you feel like you're in that scene from the Titanic where it's heading towards the iceberg and you're just praying for it to stop. It really doesn't feel like it gives you confidence when you stamp on the brakes. And for such a heavy car, I mean, it's over 2 tons this, and with such a powerful engine that means you can be going quite fast when you need to jump on the brakes, we would have hoped for a little bit more stopping power. Now we'll talk a little bit about ride as well, because this test car has 21-inch alloy wheels fitted and it does somewhat spoil the ride. Now don't get me wrong, I mean this Velar has the full drive mode selection with air suspension, so you've got comfort programs, you've got dynamic programs, but even in comfort when you're wafting along you can still feel every little lump and bump because of the low profile tyres. Now on this Velar you can choose everything from an 18-inch alloy wheels, I mean why you'd want them I don't know, right up to 22. I mean you can even go bigger than the one that's on this car, and again we don't know why you'd want to. There are plenty of 19 and 20-inch options that should strike a perfect balance between curb appeal and comfort. Job done. Now when it comes to choosing the engine and trim specification for your Range Rover Velar, there seems to be an endless amount of combinations. You can go right from the basic of £47,000 for a D180 Velar, right up the other end of the spectrum to £86,000 for the rip-snorting 5-litre V8 SV Autobiography Dynamic Edition. Well, that's a mouthful. This D300 R-Dynamic HSE, the HSE is the top spec R-Dynamic, so you get loads of the creature comforts like the massage seats, other bits and bobs, but it starts from just under £70,000. Throw in a few extras like £1,000 and a bit for the panoramic roof and £800 for the wheels. This car sits here at just over £71,000. That's a hell of a lot of money. It's quite hard to justify really, but you still kind of want one. That's just about it for the Range Rover Velar. Achingly beautiful on the outside, sumptuously designed on the inside, and if you pick the right engine and specification, capable performance to match. Okay, there are a few things not to like, and the most important one will be the price. But I don't know how Land Rover's done it, but they've managed to make this Range Rover Velar such that you don't care how much it costs. I mean, I sit in this car here that's over £70,000. I can in no way afford this car, but I still want one. I want one very much. Land Rover, can I keep this one, please? Thanks for watching this review. I really hope you've liked it, and if you have, give us a thumbs up and leave any comments you want to in the section below. If you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Now we've got over 100 subscribers now, so thank you so much guys. Here's to the next 100 and more. I've been Dan for Simply Motor, and we'll see you next time.